So it begins.
Hello and welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Strategy Game Stooges. I'm Nick, and I am joined once again by Daniel and Smitty. How you guys doing?
I'm good. Yeah.
I'm weathering this coronavirus storm. I feel like my pocket keeps getting thinner and thinner by the day. Buying way too much hobby stuff lately.
That's not a bad thing at all. Just gotta support the hobby, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, I think today we're gonna dive right in. We're gonna have Smitty and Daniel don't know this yet. This is gonna surprise them. This is what I didn't tell them what the plans were, but we're gonna dive in. I'm gonna start asking, make them think hard for this episode. I'm gonna call it the questionnaire episode, I guess, or something like that. So we're gonna get going right away. This is gonna start out with a really, really hard question.
Oh man, my brain's in quarantine. I don't know if it can take it.
I think you can handle this one. I'll start with Smitty, then we'll swing over to Daniel. Smitty, why don't you tell us what your all-time favorite model is and why?
Oh my goodness. The favorite model I have is this lovely, actually Nick got it for me, this lovely Gandalf the White charging down on some Urukai. You got it commission painted from Elric's painting, and I mean, honestly, that's like the best scene in the entire. I feel like it's the best scene in the entire Lord of the Rings film. So I mean, maybe I'm biased there, but I'm a Rohan player, and I was so distraught when originally you weren't allowed to have the White Wizard in the Rohan Force until those Legendary Legions came out, and that was once those came out, I was just ready to use that model all day long.
It is a good model. I mean, I got good taste. You got good taste in a friend buying that for you too, huh?
Yeah, I sure do. Yep.
All right, Daniel, how about we swing over to you? What is your all-time favorite model and why?
Well, let's see. I think my favorite model of all time would probably be Thranduil on the Elk. But I also do like the 3 Hunters because I like their poses. But I really like Thranduil, so I'd probably say it's my favorite model because it's just really cool and it's an elf. And it's a pretty cool scene in the movie too when he's on the elk and he's like flying off the elk or whatever. And yeah.
No, I feel like we got to put a disclaimer on this though, right? Because the Padme models, they're still not out yet. So.
Yeah, once it's your model, then you'll have to change that.
Yeah, I have to figure that out.
I'm not going to say what my favorite model is yet because I will be able to answer that with the next question. Okay. So we'll get to what my favorite is. We're going to wait. I'm going to get the 2-part here when I answer that one. So we're going to move on. Now this one, if need be, you guys let me know. I can answer first and we'll give you time to think about it. The next one is the one model that frustrates you, or another way to put it was the one model you want to hate, but you can't help loving it. So I'll let you guys think about that for a couple minutes. I'll explain mine.
Okay.
So this is also where it comes into my favorite model. Okay, my favorite model is the Mumik, the War Mumik of Harad. Okay, it is my favorite. I love that thing. It's a big model. It's elephant. Love the color, especially the color scheme of the Haradrim. Love that model. But this is where it comes into it frustrates me. If any of you out there have put this together, there are parts on that. It's a nice model, but there's parts that don't quite line up. So then you're filling stuff in with green stuff. Why that's like that, I don't know. It frustrates me because things there's gaps, and I don't want to fill for something that nice and that big. I don't want to be filling these gaps, and it frustrates me. And every time I start to put one together, I start thinking to myself, "There is no way. I hate this thing. This is stupid. I should be able to put it together." But then I get done with it, and I cannot stop loving the thing. It is my favorite model. It frustrates me, but I love the thing. See, I was able to hit 2 birds with 1 stone on that one.
Wow, yeah, you're right there. Favorite and most frustrating.
Yeah. I even emailed Games Workshop the first time I put it together because the trunk, it wasn't lining up to where the trunk connects up into the head.
Right.
And it didn't quite match up. I'm like, this can't be right. What is up? I had a defect. Well, then they emailed back and they said that, no, it's just the way it is, which is fine. I put green stuff and it looks fine, but it's just, and I still like the model. I have 3 of them, and I'm sure at some point I'll buy another one too.
I've heard smog is like that too. You need so much green stuff to like make sure that that's smooth across his back or something like that. So we'll have to do that eventually.
Yeah, maybe it's just the process. The bigger the models, the process is different.
Yeah, for sure. I'll have to let Daniel go first. I'm still in deep thought.
Yeah, I know. I told you I had some hard questions for you.
Yeah.
All right. So is this like most frustrating to play against? Also,
it is just simply, I kept it simple. The model that frustrates you the most, or essentially the model that you absolutely hate it, but as much as you want to hate it, you can't stop loving it.
all right. So the models I hate the most are the stupid Gondor heroes because I always get killed by them.
So do you actually hate these though, or do you actually love them? You hate them because they beat you, but you actually love them?
Okay, they are cool heroes like Boromir and all that. They're cool, and here and then all those they have cool posts and stuff. But yeah, I always die from them. So
You just need them in your army so you don't have to worry about them killing you. Then you can just love it without worrying about hating it.
yeah, I need to play better too. I guess that would probably help.
Alrighty. You think you got something?
Oh,
I can tell.
oh boy.
For you guys, since you're only hearing a voice here, I actually do have him in order for to bring him in to be on this podcast recording. I have a video chat going with him, which is why his sound quality may be a little different. But that's what we have to do since we're all in separate locations. And you guys should see his face. His wheels are turning.
The wheels are churning, that's for sure. But I think this one's going to go back a few because we haven't played 40K too often here. But those dang Necrons, they keep dying and coming back and dying and coming back. And then you got your little spider doohickey. Don't even know the name of it. But that is a very cool model. And you definitely don't want to get close to it, that's for sure.
All right. Now, we're going to get hard again. No, this one shouldn't be too hard. What is your least favorite model? Just, there is nothing that you like about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, the problem is Games Workshop keeps coming out with some pretty cool stuff right now. Yeah. So it's hard to pinpoint something that's not good. What's yours?
Oh, mine?
Yeah.
I don't know about that one. I was trying to think of it because I wrote down all these questions, so I had more time to think of it.
I guess that's one way to do it. You know, there's so many though that I feel like I have in my head. They're just not jiving at the moment.
There are some models that, just from an aesthetics point of view, that aren't necessarily my favorite, but it's more or less just I don't prefer the style or look of them. And then as far as playing, the issue is when I play with them, there's some models out there that I feel like I can't do anything against them, and they just kill me no matter what game I'm playing. Each game has those models out there. For the longest time, I'll tell you, I hated the Uruk-hai.
Yeah.
Now I actually do better against them, but for the longest time, I hated those things.
No, I know. Well, the thing that really keeps the Uruk-hai at bay is any cavalry that's against them. Like that's kind of what keeps them at the same level as some of these other armies, because Isengard doesn't have the greatest cavalry models, except for obviously wargs, which aren't all that.
Well,
they're just orc warriors. But the Dunedain, not the Dunedain, the Wildmen have. Now have horsemen, so I might try to look into something.
Oh yeah,
It costs you an arm and a leg on Forge World, but might have to do that. just to keep frustrating you, you know.
Yeah. So,
but models that
I don't hate the look of the Uruk-hai because it's an Uruk-hai, so it's cool. But since I don't play Isengard, it's not necessarily one that, how the last question was, frustrate. You know, where you might still love it, but you want to hate it. Now that I'm over it, but for a while they're the Uruk-hai. They weren't my army, so I didn't have this love affair with them, and they just kept beating me, and I was hating them for a while. But that's probably the closest I ever got, and that was more or less because of what was happening during the game.
Right. I guess I'd have to say so. When I originally started playing Astra Militarum, right, there's the Vestroyans and the Valhallans,
Yep.
and actually now they're out of print. You can get them now. Sometimes they do like the made to orders, but the Cadians are kind of getting boring with their poses, and I couldn't believe they took different regiments away. So it'll really be interesting. What I guess who knows when 9th edition will come out. I feel like 8th edition's already been out for 2 years ish, but.
Yeah, because that's what we got going.
I wonder if they're going to kill off those regiments or what they're going to do, because those Cadians just, man, they're easy to paint. I'll give it that, but they're just not. Maybe I'm just sick of looking at them. But
yeah, for how many you have, that's probably what happens.
Yeah, probably about 150 of them.
Well, Dana, how about you? Did you think of any model that your least favorite? Whether
which game was?
It can be any model. Just what is your least favorite? It can just be the look of the model. There's something about the model. Just there is nothing you like about it.
So, in Star Wars Legion,
yep,
I liked Republic.
Yep,
and I hate the Separatists.
Why do you?
Because I hate droids.
Why? Droids are good.
Because as many droids as you kill, there's still a lot of droids, and their heroes are really good.
That's a good thing I bought that army, huh?
Yeah, General Grievous is kind of hard to kill, and Dooku is really good when he gets close to you. And the droids are just impossible to kill because there's like 8 million of them. Yeah.
I'll keep that in mind when I finally get to play
I guess going back to model-wise, the ones that I don't like are there's some imperfections in some of so if you look at the Moranan orcs, there's like these big blocky triangle areas that have absolutely no detail in them, that I literally just kind of almost paint them black to make it look like a shadow, because there's literally no detail there, and it's probably a good almost, I'd say like a centimeter by a centimeter almost, where you got no detail. So I don't know. And
now the Moranan orcs, are they an older sculpt or are they a new one?
They're newer so they're still an old sculpt, but they are newer of the older Lord of the Rings sculpts, if that makes sense.
Because they came in the box set, right? With Rohan?
They came. So they came in the Pelennor Fields box, but they were around before. The only new model that came in Pelennor Fields was the new Theoden model, which I guess now leads me to say is like the plastic ones that they're coming out with, they all look way cooler than the original model. I haven't seen a work plastic one now, right? Mm-hmm. And the new Amir that's coming out, all the poses, I'm going to have to get like 6 of them to try to get all the poses.
Yeah, the customization on those are a lot better. You can actually customize them and cut stuff apart.
Well, it's funny, too, with that customization, because how now that Aomir has it, the Star Wars Legion has it, where now you're getting multiple poses in a box. So maybe that's what they're starting to do as an industry. Maybe the hobby's starting to switch to that, where you're buying the one.
Well, Legion, they went to the hard plastic because they had that push together plastic. So
but maybe as a whole industry whole, they're trying to switch to, instead of you just buying one model, giving you multiple pose options instead of just the one set. Maybe sculpting technology or whatever they're doing now is progressing.
Yeah. And I really think gamers now out there do want different options, right? And then also conversions are so big these days that these extra bits actually give you more components than to go out and convert other potential models. So I definitely think it's a good thing for the hobby as a whole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to move on to the next one. I think I know what Smitty's going to answer on this one. I'm pretty sure I know. But we'll just see. All right. The best ever strategy or rules workaround, quote unquote, that you have ever pulled off in a match. This was,
boy.
I'm thinking I know where you're gonna go. It's not. I'm talking legal stuff, but sort of a workaround. Best ever you feel strategy wise you did, and I can see the smile on your face. I'm going to let you start talking because we'll see if I'm
Yeah,
correct.
I don't know. The first time I did this, I felt like such a dirty dog. I looked at all the pages. Is this legal? This doesn't seem right. But what I ended up doing is I had some guardsmen. And they had like it was a special weapons team with commissar, and they were in a Valkyrie, and the Valkyrie moved 20 inches. I used grab a shoot insertion, so that means that the units are able to leave the plane at any point. So they drop down 9 inches away, and then they still have their full movement. So I got flamers within striking distance in one turn against our buddy Sal, who after I dropped them in there, his face just gold white, and he did not know what happened. All of a sudden, the Astra Militarum became the most in-your-face unit that I ever have seen, and I couldn't believe, when I originally thought of this idea, I just could not believe that it was true. But that grab and shoot insertion is pretty good, at least for turn one, until your guardsmen get blown away the next turn. But
Yeah.
definitely on the attack, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I'll give you mine because we're trying to get Sal on one of these once we get this get a little more comfortable with the remote location recording type stuff going on. We're gonna get Sal in here because I think we need to offer him the opportunity to give the rebuttal and so he can explain what happened because I have a good experience strategy wise, which never should have happened. And this was playing Sal. I was the Necrons. He was the Blood Angels. The Blood Angels are one that would always frustrate me. That's a model that would frustrate me. I don't know why, but I couldn't never do anything against the Blood Angels. And then they would have whatever units he had. Then it seemed like he had 17 different rolls to see if they would come back. Which I know I'm a Necron player complaining about models coming back, but that's besides the point. So anyway, it came down to the point where forget what game, if it was objective wise or something, but all Sal basically could have done was just back off all of his units, and that would have been it. He won. Well, I talked him into, because he's like, whatever, let's just play it, see what happens. I talked him into attacking my Necrons one last time, and in the process of this attack, I was able to blow up, I forget what tanks he had, but he had a tank or two that he had that I blew one up, which then blew up the other one, which ended up wiping out half of his forces. It knocked him off the objectives, and I ended up winning all the points. And in all reality, all he had to do was just not attack or back far enough, so I had no chance of attacking.
And that was like in the last part of that game.
It was
right?
the absolute, that was it. That was the last thing that was going to happen. Like, he either could have backed off his models and won, or you just go for one more fight to see what happens, because the odds of two tanks blowing up were so slim that he's like, whatever, I'm going to go for this. And it was the only time that I've actually beaten him head-to-head with my Necrons versus his Blood Angels.
I do remember that.
So it wasn't a workaround at all. It was just more or less like, come on, let's go. Let's see what happens. Just talking him into it, which gotta give him credit. He did it. If you're going to go and win a game, he wasn't about backing down and just whimpering out of it. He wanted to go and beat me handily, wipe me out. But I definitely enjoyed that one. Daniel, what do you got? You got any good strategy techniques you use, or workarounds, or gray areas that you found?
Not really, because I don't really win that much. So,
how about is there any particular strategy that you like using, or technique, or something?
Well, I'm trying to figure out, which I kind of have. I'm trying to figure out the strategy with clones. So I'm trying to figure out how to do it good, because they can share their different tokens and stuff like that, and because I've been playing with them on Tabletop Simulator, and I've been trying to figure it out, but yeah, I don't really remember any things in any games that I really did that was like, oh, that was a cool thing that I did, but yeah, I can't really think of anything.
So yours is a
I don't like too many, so yeah, I'm working on trying to be more aggressive. It seems to work a little better. I don't know.
We'll have to follow up with you on that one.
Yeah, I don't win too much, so I don't really have too many strategies.
Well, I must say, guys, you were able to handle a lot of these hard questions we had. So that's about all. That's about all I had for these questions. So, is there any last things you guys wanted to get off your chest to talk about? We got a couple more minutes left here, and
Yeah, I just wanted to circle back on models that I don't like, right? So,
yeah, you've been thinking
when,
about it now.
yeah, it's maturing a little more. So in when 8th edition came out, right, and they introduced Primaris Space Marines, right? So Games Workshop has a love affair with the Space Marines. That's what's the money maker. That's what they're trying to make those people happy. And I used to just not be able to stand Space Marines in general. Then this Primaris came out, but look at me now. Look at how many Primaris Space Marines I have now. Yeah, I might only have 10 that are painted, but God, I probably have probably close to 2,500 points just sitting there ready to be painted now. Just pure Primaris. So
Yeah, you got your first
I
Primaris,
guess
and you
there's a
got hooked.
love-hate there when it's turning more into a love now, though. So
Maybe that's one of those ones that frustrate you. You've been wanting to hate it, but you just keep finding yourself loving it.
yeah, I gotta say they're just so big and easy to paint too. So I feel that's the attraction for me.
Yeah, which is probably why they're able to push it and sell so many of those, because you want some of those models that anybody, it's easier to get into and paint.
Yeah.
And hopefully you want to keep playing the games.
And there's so many chapters you can kind of customize them a lot.
Yeah, for sure. Hellblasters to be exact. Those guys light you up.
Yeah, I've been on the receiving end of that quite a bit.
Yeah.
Salamanders.
One of the things I hope to try one day is using a shadow sword. So I have a band blade that I've never put together yet. It's been there for probably 2 years, never put together. I need to really get on this. But the shadow sword can transport 40 models. I always wanted to put 20 las cannons into one of those because they can all shoot, and I think that would just be incredible to do one day. So we'll work on that.
Yeah, keep that on.
Yeah.
So, well, with all that being said, that's about all we had for the show today. Keep in mind, we are in the process of recording some videos so we can get those up on YouTube, different reviews. And I think Daniel's going to have some Star Wars Legion explanation videos on some of the stuff that goes on in the game with that. So keep an eye on that, and we're hoping to have those, I think the next few weeks or so, we should start getting a couple of those out there.
Yeah, I know, Nick, you did some game board reviews, correct?
Yep.
We want to get out there as well. And in quarantine here, I'm not with my current paints, so I actually went ahead and bought a big pack of Army Painter paints, so I might be reviewing some Army Painter here in the next couple of days. So.
Yeah, I've used a couple of them. I've liked them, but I'm going to wait to make my full judgment so I can review,
Yeah, absolutely. So, I got 50 of them, so I'm excited. Comes tomorrow.
Oh, boy. Make sure you get a good excitement unboxing video or a picture or something.
It'll be exciting. That's for sure. Unless they're all clogged up already, then you're gonna get an angry Smitty. So
let's hope we don't get the angry one. We're gonna root for the happy one. So
yeah. But hey, I think we're about to do a giveaway, right?
Yeah, I was just about to wrap it up here, looking at the clock, because I got to get live on Instagram now, so I can do this giveaway.
Sounds good. And thanks to all you viewers out there, listeners. I really hope you guys have got a chance to participate in this giveaway, and we'll definitely be doing a bunch more, hopefully, going forward. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that.
Thanks, everyone, for listening. Until next time, happy gaming.